I will keep my friend and his family anonymous while I describe one of the most horrifying instances I've witnessed firsthand. This all occurred between 2014 and 2015 while I was pursuing my B.Tech. Nothing I'm about to share is fabricated, and skeptics are free to make fun and move on with their lives. I couldn't care less. But for those who even have 1% empathy, I urge you to try and imagine the terror experienced by my friend's family, especially his young sister, who this story revolves around. Before I dive in, I want to give you some background. Before this incident, I was a staunch disbeliever in the supernatural. I thought of ghosts as figments of the imagination. I used to boast about how I could walk through a graveyard at midnight without a scratch. I even dreamt of visiting Bangor to fight the spirits there. But this one event completely changed my outlook. It made me realize that there is a dimension we humans can't perceive or understand, and that we are better off staying away from it. I met this guy in college, and we became close friends. He was a local, hailing from a well-off family. His father worked for a PSU in a senior position, and he had a younger sister who was in the 6th grade in 2013. She is the center of this story. I mention their family's background because it's important to note that they were educated and financially stable. They were not the kind of people who blindly believed in superstitions. In fact, they even had the resources to get their daughter checked at Apollo Hospital. I used to visit my friend's house frequently and got along well with his family. His sister was an adorable, lively kid. She reminded me of my younger brother. On one visit, she wasn't feeling well, and I noticed a strange mark on her forehead. It looked like someone had pressed a cigarette butt onto her skin. The mark was ugly, so I asked my friend about it. He said that the mark appeared in the same spot every month and disappeared completely within a day, as if it was never there. It was strange. When I asked his parents, they told me that the mark always showed up after every no moon, Amavasya, the darkest night of the lunar month, night, and she would feel sick for a day while the mark remained. During this time, she would have the same dream repeatedly. In the dream, a blurred man would appear and say, "Come with me, child. Give me your hand, there's nothing left for you in this world." By then, my mind was racing. But like many Indian parents, they brushed it off. "She's just a kid, children hurt themselves, and they have all sorts of dreams," they'd say. They didn't connect the dots, and we, being Indian, left it at that. But the same thing kept happening until it got much worse in 2015. For over a year, everyone ignored the recurring mark, the sickness, and the timing with Amavasya, new moon. Then, in October 2015, there was a function at my friend's house, and the whole family stayed up late, including his sister. It just so happened that it was Amavasya again. After the guests left, it was around 2 or 3 in the morning when the girl started feeling very unwell. Her mother tried to comfort her, but she insisted she needed to sleep. Then, right before her mother's eyes, her daughter's eyes sank in, and she passed out. They put her on the couch, and my friend and his father tried desperately to wake her. They shook her, but she wouldn't wake up. She clenched her fists so tightly that it was almost impossible to pry them open. When my friend finally managed to open her fist, everyone was struck with sheer horror. Inside her palm were more than 20 vertical cuts, as if made by a blade. And then, right before their eyes, the cigarette-like burn mark appeared on her forehead again. It was impossible for such a thing to happen naturally, and the family panicked. My friend sent me a photo of her palm and explained the situation over the phone. I still remember the shock of seeing that image, but for privacy reasons, I won't share it. The family rushed her to local hospitals, but every doctor they visited brushed them off. Some even laughed at their story. Defeated, they went to Apollo Hospital in Ranchi, where they faced the same dismissive attitude from the doctors. No one believed them. Eventually, after consulting friends and relatives, they heard about a place called Tarapeeth, known for occult practices. Reluctantly, they went there, and my friend accompanied them. After some inquiries, they consulted an experienced barber, a holy man with spiritual powers, who examined the girl closely and told them a terrifying story. He said that she had stepped on a sacred object for years ago, unknowingly releasing a demon that had attached itself to her. The entity wanted to take her soul and was the one appearing in her dreams every Amavasya night. The barber explained that the girl had an unusually strong will, which had saved her thus far, as she had repeatedly refused to go with the entity in her dreams. Had she been weaker, she might not have survived. The barber said the physical harm, the cuts in her palm, was a result of resisting the demon. The family was stunned and desperate, asking the barber to do whatever was necessary to save their daughter. The barber performed some rituals and chanted mantras, spiritual chants. The exorcism was straightforward, no dramatic encounters, no visible confrontation with the demon. My friend witnessed the entire process. Post-exorcism, the barber instructed them to have the girl wear a red thread locket with a bronze charm to ward off future attempts at possession. Since then, the marks have never reappeared. The dreams have stopped, and the girl has not fallen sick like before. It sounds unbelievable to hear a story like this from someone living in the modern world, right? But every word is true. You can never be sure until you experience something like this for yourself. Stay safe, everyone.